Hello and welcome to this session on deep learning. In this class, we are going to explore about deep learning. So deep learning is a concept wherein we create a mechanism into a machine and the machine tries to learn something from the environment, and at the same time it tries to improvise over the time. Like, it tries to improvise its output. It tries to improvise the way it is processing that information from the surrounding. So let us try to understand this entire terminology. So deep learning, if we talk about, it is a core form of learning. So it is a sub part of machine learning, and as we know that machine learning is a sub part of AI. So let's try to understand each of these terminologies in detail. What is AI? AI is something in which we want the machine to mimic the behavior of an human being. So AI is something which can do things how a human is doing. In AI, machine takes its own decision based on certain algorithms, data which is fed it to the machine. Now here it behaves as a human being, which means as human being is capable of taking some decision on its own, AI will be capable of doing the same thing. Then how is AI trying to do all those things? So AI is taking this decision based on certain level of learnings which it is getting from the surrounding, and this learning is happening due to machine learning. So machine learning is the core part of AI, where it enables the machine or that AI device to learn something from the environment. So basically machine learning is something where the machine learns something without explicitly programming him to do certain task in a certain way. For example, if there is an activity or a decision has to make made for a person to approve his loan or not, so in that cases we need a trained professional who will take the decision in order to provide him loan or not, right? But when it comes to machine learning, that we are training a machine to understand what is the profile of that particular individual, and it will try to learn and understand different components behind that profile, and based on the previous experience with different profiles, the machine will try to give us some kind of prediction whether to approve this loan or not. Now this entire phenomenon is something where we are not giving any instruction for the machine to take decision based on conditions. Not at all. We are not asking machine to take decision based on a certain set of conditions or conditional phenomenon or something like that. Here the machine is taking decisions based on the previous exposure to the data. So this is how, like, machine learning is something where the data is given to the machine, and machine will learn from the data, and based on that data it will take its own decision without any conditional influence of an external object or external body or external person. Now when it comes to deep learning is all about extracting patterns from the data, and this extraction of data has to be very much like the way we are doing it by a human being. So machine learning is something where we actually train the machine based on certain algorithms, make him understand the trends and pattern in the data. But if you want to do a deeper learning, like if you want to do a learning where the data tries or the machine tries to learn as a human being is learning, we go with deep learning. And deep learning is a mechanism where we have the same mechanism as a human being is having. Human being has nervous system, and the way human being perceives the information from a nervous system, from its surrounding through its nervous system, in the similar way we want the machine, like we want the machine to do the same. So the perceiving of information is going to change here. It will be different from machine learning, where an algorithm processes the raw data or the information, whereas in deep learning an algorithm will be there, but the algorithm is a network of different neurons, and each neuron is having a certain set of decision making within itself. It processes that information within itself, and after having a collective processing of information, this a output is getting like we get an output. It is similar to human neural network. That is, this is something that we are going to discuss in the upcoming slides. So uh, why we are learning deep learning? So as you can see here, hand engineered features are time consuming, brittle, and not scalable in practice. Like if you see this images in front of you, lines and edges are there in the first image. Second image, we have mid-level features of eyes, nose, and ears. And then we have high-level features of facial structures. Now, when we talk about these features, it is difficult for a human being to go through each and every depth of these images at low level, mid level, and high level. We have trained ourselves since the childhood in a way that we are able to process all this information in a single collective way. But it is difficult for a machine learning algorithm or a machine to understand it in the same way as a human is trying to understand. It is due to the human's ability to process the information due to different layers of neural networks. And that is what we want the machine to do. And that's why we have deep learning, where we will be able to process each and every level of features from a image or from a set of information. And that is why deep learning comes into picture, which helps us to process all three levels of features, even the minutest level of features. If we talk about machine learning performance and the deep learning performance, so we see a constant improvement of deep learning performances because there's a mechanism of feedback in a deep learning algorithm. Deep learning algorithm always tries to improve over the time based on the feedback. Now, what is this feedback? Feedback essentially comes in the form of error. And deep learning has this mechanism of improvising this error over the time. And that is why deep learning, the performance is kind of improving compared to the ordered algorithm or ordered machine learning algorithms. So machine learning algorithm works kind of in a formula structure or algorithmic structure. So it will always follow a algorithmic structure to make certain predictions. It is going to make predictions based on a certain level of input, if and else conditions. For example, if we take this decision tree algorithm, so decision tree algorithms works in a way where it finds out what is the information gain, what is the entropy level for a particular feature, what is the information gain, how much information gain is given by that particular algorithm. So it works fine with the training data. But when it comes to a newer data, the machine sometimes makes wrong predictions. Like there's a problem with decision tree that it is kind of overfitting algorithm, and that is why decision tree will make decision based on the condition that is there on the root node or the decision node. But when it comes to deep learning, the deep learning phenomenon is completely different. It will not have this tree-like structure. It will have a structure in which there will be a certain level of neurons, and the decision will be made at the very first instance of training. And if the decision is wrong, we can simply improvise the previous learnings by adjusting the weights. What is weights? We will discuss it in the upcoming slides. But uh, the phenomenon is in a way that the deep learning algorithm first processes the information, makes some predictions, and if it is making wrong predictions, as we are also making wrong prediction, as a human being is also making wrong prediction. So in this, the machine will actually improvise whatever decisions were made wrongly. So if we are making anything wrong or any wrong decision, so machine will improvise over the time. So that is how deep learning works. So that's why deep learning has a very high efficiency compared to the current existing machine learning algorithm. Maybe in certain cases we will not find that. So, but most of the time deep learning has almost higher performance, always highest performance. Now, why we are trying to learn this deep learning algorithms now? First thing we will try to understand, was this deep learning earlier evolved? Was it there earlier? So yes, it was there earlier. If you can see the history of this deep learning, the stochastic gradient descent was kind of invented or was conceptualized in 1952. Then perceptron and learning weights concept was in 1958. Uh, Back propagation, multi-layer perceptron, this phenomenon existed in 1986. And deep convolutional neural network, or all this digit recognition or convolutional neural network, took place in 1995. So if you can see the history, it is not something which is new. It was there in the articles, in the research papers. These all things were discovered. So why we are trying, like why we are exploring it now? So the answer to this is basically the availability of resources, the availability of fast computing machines. Okay, so earlier we didn't have this all fast computing machines for computing this complex information, as deep learning involves computation at each layer and each neuron level. And uh, and as we know that human body is a complex mechanism, like we have a complex mechanism of neural network where we sense the information and immediately it is processed in the brain. But we want this to happen in a faster way, as it is happening in a human being. So that is why we need faster machines, and at that point of time it was not possible to have such machines. And now we have certain machines which can definitely help us out to a level where we can solve the or do the computation in a faster way. Nowadays, in today's generation, we have a lot of data also available in hand to train the machines, to make it informed, to make it understand what is happening in the surrounding or what is happening in the data. So we have a big data concept. So the data is evolving every day. There is larger data sets are coming. We have different methods by which we can store the data easily. We have cloud devices where we can store the data. We have IoTs from where we can extract information from different devices or something. So the availability of all these tools makes us like helps us out in storing and collection of data. Like the data is now abundant and it is available to us. Second part is processing. So we have very high level graphical units in computer, graphical processing units which can process the information in a faster way. And it is also possible to parallel compute your system, like you can do parallel computation across your system. And due to this parallel processing, high processing graphic cards, high processing computers, processors, due to the availability of all this hardware, it is possible to do the computation in a faster way. And on top of that, we have tools which help us out to kind of work well on the data, or make an interactive adjustment between the hardware and the data. And such kind of tools, if we can see there is TensorFlow, we have programming tools like Python. All these tools are definitely helping us to improve over or understand the data better. So due to availability of all these three components, it is quite possible for us to implement the learnings which was there in the past. So we are implementing all this learning which was done in the past due to this current tools and softwares which are available to us.